when it comes to soup. So that's what I always choose every single time. Even if I have Idaho potatoes sitting around, I still go get me some new potatoes. They're the best. I got my pot. I filled it up with water. I set it beside of where I'm going to cut up my potatoes because that just makes it easier if you cut your potatoes right into the pot. I ended up cutting them on my cutting board, though, because I kept dropping them in the floor. So anyway, I got my potatoes good and cut up, and I added them to the water. The next thing that I'm going to do is grab some garlic and do a rough chop on them, and also add them to the water with the potatoes. Next up, I slice my carrots up. I also have an onion I'm going to slice up. I forgot to put my potatoes and garlic on the stove to boil, so I went ahead and done that. Now that I have my carrots and my onions, I'm going to set them aside and wait for my potatoes to get soft. Once my potatoes got soft, I took them to the sink and I strained them. The reason that I like to strain the water that my potatoes are cooked in is because I don't like a really thick soup. If you like a really thick soup, then cook your potatoes in chicken broth and just leave them with that. You could also add the carrots and the onions if you do it that way. I just like a thinner soup, so I choose to do it this way. So I added my chicken broth to my soft potatoes. At this point, I'm also going to add my carrots and my onions. The reason I'm using carrots in this recipe is because I didn't have any celery. So carrots it is, and it was really good actually, so I'm not going to complain today. I added my stick of butter. Don't skip on the butter. This makes the recipe. While I'm doing this, I just want to thank everybody for supporting me. I do have a lot of people that know me, that support me, but there is so many random people that I do not personally know that support my videos. They share them and they like them and they comment on them. And I just appreciate that because the people that I thought would support me the most, or some of them, don't support me. And the people that I thought wouldn't support me are the ones that are supporting me. So I just want to thank every single person that supports my videos. I put my evaporated milk in a jar with some flour and made a type of slurry so that way it would thicken my soup up just a little bit. I like my soups just thick enough to cover my spoon. So I went ahead and added the rest of that evaporated milk, and I'm letting all that cook good and together. I looked at my pot and I realized that I needed more liquid, so I got a jar and I'm going to put some of the Knorr chicken bouillon into the jar and make another jar of chicken broth out of that. And I'm also going to add that to the soup because my soup was not as full as what I wanted it to be. These are the seasonings that I use on every single thing that I cook. So y'all, I'm telling you right now, you should try it. It is salt and pepper, garlic powder, grated ginger, which I put on everything, Italian seasoning, paprika, onion powder. I would normally use garlic powder, but I have garlic in there, so it wasn't really needed. So anything that you cook, if you add these ingredients, I promise